You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 68. My name is Clark from 5 Card Guys on Instagram. And with me as always is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess. Okay, so off the top, I'm sure you guys saw this on someone's Instagram feed. Well, John, I think you sent it to us in our chat group initially, but there was that dual auto card from the Topps definitive set of Randy Arozarena and Austin Meadows. And if you look at the autographs on that dual auto card, it doesn't match the autographs by either player if you compare their respective autos on different cards like their Bowman Chrome or Topps Chrome. Plus, the fake autographs on the dual card seems to be signed by the same person. It looks exactly similar. And
yeah, the penmanship is like exactly the same.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So just a couple of days ago, Topps sent out a release acknowledging the autos were fake, but they didn't really explain what happened. So first, what did you guys think of this whole situation? And two, what do you think happened?
Man, it's tough to say. It's like the story that, we'll never know, I guess,
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, I guess, theories out there, like employees, for instance, stuff like that. But I don't know. Who knows? It's crazy that it got past like quality control.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's something, especially in that type of product. Like that's super high end. You know, people are paying $2,000 a box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It just shows how rushed these companies are pushing this product out. It just shows the quality. Mm-hmm. The quality control's not there because they're like literally rushing everything out the door, right? So no one has time to make sure if, I'm sure they would look at a Wander Franco auto, but, some slightly lesser known or lesser popular players, they probably just literally package it up and send it out. So, I mean,
I don't understand why they would do that. Yeah. Like, and I think I saw on another post that Platinum Card Breaks also got a card of that dual auto.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing.
So is it all 50 cards, or is it 35 cards or 50 cards?
I feel like the whole series is, all three.
It was numbered to 35, yeah.
Were they stickers too?
No,
they were.
They were?
I believe they were. Actually, now I'm double guessing myself.
Honestly, I could see like a player just kind of jokingly just sign, thinking that the card industry is not a big deal or whatever, and then it's just like, who no one will know or whatever, right? But there is a funny story about not a funny story, but 2011 Austin Meadows has his Bowman Chrome auto, and I guess it kind of looks similar. So people are saying that he signed both, but I don't think that's true because I mean you could kind of tell the difference, but it is somewhat similar though.
Right. So a lot of these autos, they don't. They're not in the presence of like a Panini.
If they're sticker autos, no.
Or like a Topps representative, right? They go to the player's house and then that player fills it all out and then he mails it back, right? I know that's how. I remember watching Phil Hughes when he had to do autographs and he just got a giant box of cards and he signs it all and he puts it back in the box and he sends it out.
Right.
So for me, I would imagine Meadows and Arozarena at the time were on the same team. It probably got sent to like the Tampa Rays stadium or head office or wherever they are. And then the players might not have had time to do it. And maybe they just asked a favor from one of the trainers to just sign away. And then this trainer just sat there signing like
so brutal.
1,000 3M stickers. He's just sitting there signing all of them. Like I'm sure something like that happened, or I don't know if they have this.
Some intern, some Tampa Bay Rays
intern
that got stuck with that job. Yeah, I'm looking at the card now. It looks like it's not sticker auto.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
It is on card.
Yeah.
So that could be a possibility if they got shipped those 35 cards and they're like, hey man, can you just sign this for both of us?
Right.
Jeez. I would definitely want to hear the backstory. It's like
It's
that
so
Dak
fun.
Prescott.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so funny
Yeah.
how whoever was signing it, like, wouldn't he even ask? Like, hey, Randy, can you at least give me your autograph so I can try to copy it? He just literally signed it the way he felt like signing it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
no
brutal.
effort whatsoever to even
But
come close.
You know what's funny? It's kind of a chase card now.
It is.
Kind of, yeah. But like, to be fair, if that intern story is true, like if you look at Arozarena's autograph, it's kind of complicated.
It's very
So
complicated.
I don't know.
It looks
I don't know
Japanese.
if I would've-
Very complicated. No,
So,
but
yeah.
I think Topps said that they would replace it for a similar value and give you a brand new
And a
definitive
box.
a $2,000
Yeah, that's
box
crazy.
on top. So that card has actually become a chase card. That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, because that card would be like probably like $30-$40 if
Right.
it was signed
'Cause, like,
regularly.
if you hit it, immediately you get a replacement card, and then you're getting a
Right,
brand
and
new
a
box
box.
in return.
Yeah,
That's a pretty sweet
100%. Because I think the
So-
story would die down. People would forget about
Sure.
it. No one would care after
Right.
probably in the next 3 months, and then you lose out on that opportunity. So
hit. Right.
Yeah.
Now, what would you guys do if you had the card? Because most likely, because you're gonna send it back in to get another $2,000 buy. It's a pretty sweet offer, right? At the
Yeah.
end of the day, if everybody does that,
I ain't
and you're
keeping
the
it.
one,
Heck no.
but you're the one guy hanging on to the one error card, it could be like a 1 of 1 in the future, right?
What are you
Like,
gonna?
no
what are
more-
you gonna?
No more
I
in
guess it's a
existence?
cool story. Like I mean,
It
the
is kind of
Dak
a cool
Prescott
story.
the Dak Prescott like worked because it was like his rookie gold,
Sure.
and it was like such a big card. But I honestly think people are gonna forget about like
The story
this.
behind
I don't think it's gonna be like a Billy Ripken type card.
Right.
Yeah, you know why it's not going to be like there's not going to be a narrative that lasts that long because it's not like a Mike Trout Shohei Ohtani
Right.
dual auto.
That's
you know
different.
What I
I
mean?
would get the box and try
Yeah.
ripping for that Shohei
Right.
Trout, dual auto. Double down.
Double down.
Oh man. Anyway, that's a pretty wild story.
It is a wild story.
Hopefully, we'll be able to find the truth of that story someday.
No, I don't want the truth to be revealed. It needs to be a
It's a legend.
urban legend kind of deal. Right?
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to hobby headlines. Okay, for this episode, there's been some pretty hot product releases lately, with a couple being long overdue, primarily because of the pandemic slowing down the whole distribution process. So I thought we could go over some of the hobby boxes and sets that were released finally over the past couple weeks. And yeah, let's just talk about our general thoughts on them. Thumbs up, thumbs down, that kind of thing. All right. So the first one I wanted to touch upon is a set that's been released for the past 3 decades, I believe. And, if you can actually believe that, it's the Topps Stadium Club baseball set. The 2021 hobby boxes were just released. And, we talk about Stadium Club every now and then, saying it's a pretty underappreciated set.
Right.
Do you guys still think that's the case, or have you changed your mind on the classic Stadium Club set that we all know and love?
No, I think
Underappreciated, 100%.
yeah, it's super underrated, but it is all dependent on class. Like
Sure.
2021 was brutal, for instance, compared to 2018. You have Shohei, cards that I think will be super, super valuable, right? So I think this year is no different. I think the class is phenomenal. So it's like this year, I'm very excited for Stadium Club because it is underappreciated, but there's going to be a lot of chases, right? Especially with Julio, Torque, and Bobby Witt. Yeah, not having rookie cards or pretty much any cards. So I think the chase will be good. And price point wise, you can't go wrong with Stadium Club. And we all know that
So
like
cheap.
the photography is just so amazing. On card autos, potential to pull like big. I believe Trout autos are in it as well. So there's a bunch that I think it's totally worth it if depending on obviously release prices, right?
Right.
But you guys
Stadium
know
Club is generally cheap.
Cheap, yeah.
I could look it up, but yeah.
Yeah,
I would
I just
gather
hope that
it'd be
they just don't like mark it up super high, because that's what Stadium Club's known for, is like being a lower end rip, right? Or at least a cheaper, more hobby side, favorite, right? So
Yeah, it's about 190, 200 US.
yeah, keep it there. I hope it's.
You know what? Do you remember that Stadium Club when I was growing up was more? It was considered higher end.
It was.
Am I crazy?
I
Think
remember.
that? Yeah, right.
Yeah, 93.
Like
the
the
30
photography
years,
It
right?
was.
Yeah.
When it first Glossy first came out, for sure.
That was a huge set.
No, yeah.
That was
Then I got out of the hobby, and then coming back to it, it's like, oh, it's a lower end set now. So I'm not sure what happened to the evolution of Stadium Club, but it is what it is, I guess.
Sure.
that original 93 set. I think what made it really famous was that the Jeter, the Stadium Club Murphy card.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so it became kind of like iconic, right? So I think it lost. It's just a hobby, I think, favorite more so. So it's like the investors aren't gonna swarm on it, right? So
Right. That's a question I had. I don't know if you guys know, but why is it called the Murphy? Do you guys know?
I don't know. I'm assuming.
I always wondered why. I was like, well,
similar to
Tiffany.
Tiffany.
Is it kind of like is it like Tiffany?
I don't know.
Does it have like a
I would have
glossy
to
front
do
and
some
back?
research on that. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sure
anyways.
our some of our OG collectors would know that answer.
If you know, let us know. Yeah. Do you think it'll ever become a set that's for investors? Like, right now, obviously it's for
2018,
PC, but
2018. I think like if you wait like 20
I don't even
years,
know what the Shohei looks
30
like.
years. I believe he's speaking with the Angels jersey on, but he's kind of like on a
The press
stand, a
conference,
podium.
like, on the field.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't know if it's on the field, but he's on like a podium. But
Right.
yeah, I think those cards are going to be iconic cards too. Like if you look back, at even LeBron cards, and that's only 20 years ago, right? So you fast forward another 20 years and look back, like you see the typical Shohei Ohtani rookies, which will be in super high demand in like 20 years. So those secondary cards, I think, become super, super collectible, right? So it's like that's the perfect blend as a hobbyist. You look super long term. You pull like a monster like Ohtani or something. It's like you just keep it. It's not worth like flipping or selling because there's really no immediate value, right? Until more of a long term kind of play. But yeah, to answer your question, Clark, I think there's a lot of value because you could enjoy the card long term because the product's amazing, right?
yeah. I just looked up the 2018 Shohei Ohtani Stadium Club autograph PSA 9 sold recently for just under $1,300.
Which is not bad.
Wow.
It's still a healthy sale, I think.
For sure. And it's a nice looking card too. for
Great
sure.
looking card, yeah.
Yeah. I think, Clark, what you asked, that's probably the big question on everybody's mind. I certainly think it's so underappreciated. Like Stadium Club is awesome. Like the entire set, front to back, is as if you had SP imagery, right? Like the Boba Shed with the Skydome Roger Center in the background, like Luis Robert skip roping
Yeah, I love
SP
it.
version,
Love that card.
Right.
Soto shuffle
2020
photo
was
from
cool, too.
2020. Like
Yeah.
just amazing imagery and like so underappreciated. But the golden question is the hobby ever gonna really appreciate it enough that it becomes like an investment, right? So I'm a little more skeptical there. I think Stadium Club is still certainly more of a PC kind of rip. Certainly a lot of fun. Great for collectors, like, down to the core of collecting. But in terms of investment, maybe not. But at the very minimum, like Hyung said, it's very much affordable. So even if you wanted to take that chance, it's not going to cost you a lot of money. So you can just grab a whole bunch of cheaper cards, stash it away, and then see if it ever blossoms. I'm not super optimistic that it'll ever change, but I really hope it does because Stadium Club deserves it. There's no doubt.
Yeah, agreed. 100%. All right. The second set is actually the opposite, probably the opposite of Stadium Club. It's super high end with only 8 cards in the box, 6 autographed, and 2 relics. Of course, I'm talking about the Topps Definitive Collection baseball set, the one we were talking about with the dual auto of Arozarena and Meadows. So despite that error, what are your thoughts on this year's Topps Definitive? Maybe we were just talking about it. Maybe we want it now because we're chasing that card, so we could turn it in for a brand new box plus a card of equal value. But is it worth the roughly $2,000 US price tag if you got the cash?
Definitely not. I mean, it is extremely, like, high risk.
Gambling,
low
reward.
It's way too
high risk, low reward.
high risk, low reward kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it's not ideal, we'll say. Okay, it's not like what you're looking for, right? So,
but you could hit a monster.
You could hit monsters, but I'm telling you, you look at previous years. I think 2017 was the first year they're around. Prices have sat sideways on the highest cards of each year. 2017, 2018, 2019, and they're beautiful. They're all beautiful, like patch autos. And you could definitely pull some monsters, but from an investment standpoint, honestly, in 2017, those boxes were $500 a box. So the fact that they're four times what they are, and the prices have not even went up in terms of value of those cards over the last 4 years or 5 years, right? So I'm saying definitely, absolutely what John said, high risk, low reward.
Right.
If you're into that, go for it.
Right. Yeah, I 100% agree. You know what the problem with Topps is? I feel like they just try to mimic Flawless and NT and kind of get into that space. Yeah, and they just brought out too much at once and confused everybody. You don't know, it's like Definitive and Museum and Triple Threads and Dynasty and whatever Dynasty, other they just try to throw a whole bunch at the wall to see if one of them becomes the next Flawless. And I don't think obviously I think Dynasty is kind of differentiating itself amongst this kind of collective group of higher end tops. But the remaining, like Definitive and Triple Threads and whatever else is left, Topps Transcendent, which is also crazy high end, it just kind of gets lost in the shuffle. It's kind of like a big blur of like blah, like just product that nobody's necessarily too excited about. Yeah. So because of that, you're just seeing these high price points. There's just no demand because there's not much chase at the same time. And it's not clear enough as a brand that this is the go-to high-end chase. So for that reason, spending thousands of dollars on a break where people don't really chase it or really define it as the go-to, like, grail card of the latest rookie card like Wander Franco, because it's not defined in that sense, totally not worth it in my eyes. I'd rather take that $2,000 box purchase price and straight up buy some high-end rookie cards, right?
Yeah. So not even worth it as a break. If you get into breaks.
I was gonna actually say that. I think it is worth it in a break. Just you know what?
Lower the risk.
Just one time, kind of one of those things. Don't.
Sure.
I think if the price more than one.
I think if the price was a bit lower, I could maybe agree. But $2,000 is pretty crazy.
Yeah. So let's just say they do what do breaks do? One per team, or is it like whatever it is? Let's just say it's a couple $100, right? 10 teams or 10 people, couple $100.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? You could end up hitting a monster card, and it's just like going to the casino, essentially. That mindset. So it could be worth it. Like I would do it once if I had the opportunity. If there was a one right now, I would do it. $200 one time, and then you see what you get, and then if you strike out, you're done.
It's good advice. Just one time. Don't spend $2,000 in breaks. Yeah. Like you look at the makeup of the box, 6 autos and 2 relics. You know how we feel about relics, so just throw those away. So you're really chasing 6 autos and hoping the autos one of them's of a stud player. But yeah, and it's got to be a patch auto too, so for it to be worthwhile. Okay, a lot of basketball collectors have been waiting for this next one. The 2021-22 Panini Prizm Basketball Set is finally here with rookie cards of Cade Cunningham, our boy Scotty Barnes, Evan Mobley, all of last year's draft class, although we just had this year's NBA draft not too long ago. I believe it's going for about $1,500 per box. So thoughts on Panini Prizm Basketball?
Crazy. It's crazy. Honestly, holding the box wouldn't be like a terrible idea, but even then, I believe like it's not worth it. Like I would stay away. You're not gonna get like anything close to your ROI. I'm telling you. Yeah, from ripping at least. Yeah, definitely hold and hope.
You think that?
What's that?
You think it's like the shine has kind of come off a little bit of the Panini Prizm Basketball brand?
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't think the shine has come off. It's just too expensive. Like it's too ridiculous, right? So it's no one's like. I mean, people are still gonna rip at this price, right? But it's just crazy. I don't think Prizm's losing anything though. Like it's still like that's what you want. You want Prizm. You definitely want Prizm. It's still gonna, I think, be the highest in demand. But with these prices, I don't know how much people are gonna be ripping. But knowing the hobby, it's gonna be sold out, pretty soon. So
the $1,500 price, that's for the first off the line hobby box, right? I think.
I'm not sure, but you might be right.
I think the main hobby box.
What?
Yeah, but I heard the first off the line comes with a lot of hits.
Extra hits?
Right, because you get all the pulsars.
Oh, the first off, it's the FOTL. So I'm telling you, prices, look at history and prices on first off the line product. Like nobody wants the first off the line shimmers, man. Yeah. Look at the prices. Even the low numbered first off the line rookie cards, people want true Prizms.
Yeah, I agree.
They want that true.
I agree with that.
Yeah. I think anything Panini Basketball Prizm initial release, it's going to be way, way overrated. In terms of this year's class, I think there is some merit to buying a box and holding it long term. It's a really good class, but buying the box right now at this kind of hyped peak, heck no. Yeah. Wait a bit, wait 6 months, wait 8 months. Like the price will go down, and at that point, if you want to get into a box to hold it long term, I think that's a decent play. Ripping the box, very slim chance you're gonna get ROI. Yeah. I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't really watched any breaks, but I will assume very, very slim chance you get ROI.
Yeah, if I'm honest, I thought this rookie class, like Cunningham, Mobley, Barnes, like I thought it was lackluster. But then after the season, like these guys are pretty good.
For sure. Jalen Green, there's like Josh Giddey, there's
Jalen Green, yeah.
Trey
yeah, Josh Giddey too.
Yeah, there's good players.
So, decent
class. Good class.
Definitely come around on that. But so I do agree with the play of holding the box, if anything.
Right.
Just holding the wax and then let it appreciate over time. But I think this is one of those things, like it'll be a fun break to get into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like
for sure.
We talked about gambling with Tufts Definitive. This would be probably even a lower price point than Definitive, and you can hit a lot of different hits.
Honestly, you know what the best thing to do, Clark, is?
What?
Watch YouTube videos and see how much people strike out and just just have a thrill, and you get to see people rip and not lose the money.
You know what? Whenever I watch those videos and then I see a lot of people get skunked or just strike out, you know what I think? I think like that's one less awful box in the market. I
like their optimism. Where did this change? It totally flip-flopped,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you. I was looking at some of the prices of the top rookies in that class, like Cade Cunningham, Silver Prizm, and of course none of these are graded yet, but the raw ones are going for like $400.
Wow.
So even if you hit a Silver Prizm of Cunningham, you're not nearly getting your money's worth. You know what I mean? You need like an autograph or something like that. Right. But yeah, it's I know a lot of people have been waiting for it. And actually there was a comment on one of our podcast reviews wanting us to do a segment on Scotty Barnes' top 5 cards. So I think we would be
now we can.
I think I think we should be able to do that soon, because there weren't any releases when he or she put that comment a few months ago. So stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. All right. Last one for this segment. Also long time coming. It's the 2021 22 SP Authentic Hockey Set. We finally get to chase that Kirill Kaprizov Future Watch Auto numbered to $9.99. And I think it's retailing for about $400, $500 a box. John, I'm going to throw it to you first since you're a hockey guy. Are you buying SP Authentic?
No, absolutely not. I would rather spend that money and just straight up buy Kirill Kaprizov. Because I think right now it seems like I think Kaprizov and maybe Tim Stützle on the Senators, probably the two best, in my opinion. I don't think I would even go for Lafreniere.
No. Really?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I haven't seen enough from him to warrant, and I'm sure the prices will still be fairly strong for his Future Watch. I don't think it's there, the value. But it's tough, man. I haven't watched, I think I've watched one YouTube video, and I didn't realize this. And I don't know, like, I mean, the last time I've only opened SP Authentic once, and it was way back during the Sidney Crosby rookie year. Yeah, when was that? 2004 or whatever it was. I could have sworn it was 2 Future Watches per box.
It is.
Might have been 1.
Yeah.
But this box is maybe 1 Future Watch auto per box. I have seen people not get a Future Watch auto. Maybe 1.
There's a lot of insert autos.
There are insert autos, but I have seen people not get Future Watch autos in their box, which is brutal. How could you how could you be selling a product after all this time? People have been waiting for it, and you don't guarantee Future Watch autos. I think that's so brutal. And then you know the class isn't too great too. You've got a checklist of almost 100 rookies. So if you're getting maybe 1 per box, look how many boxes you have to rip to maybe hit Kirill Kaprizov. Like, even in a case you're not likely to hit it. And I mean that was a case even back then. I remember like Sidney Crosby looking at the Future Watch checklist with Ovi and whatnot. And Sidney Crosby's year was pretty stacked, man. There's like a good class of players, and it was impossible to get. I got like 2 absolute no-namers, like 7th round picks. Like, it was brutal. So it number one, it's tough to hit the guy you want. And then number 2, if you're not even going to get like a guaranteed 1 per box, it's not worth the price tag. There's no way you spend the money of 3 boxes and go out and get Kirill Kaprizov outright.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
I did open an SP Authentic Golf this week.
Oh, did you?
And it was.
I've always wanted
interesting.
to golf.
It was interesting.
It's the one that comes with like
I didn't know what
4 cards, right?
4 cards per pack.
Oh, no.
I'm
thinking of SP Game Used. Game Used is like a
no. This is the SP Authentic Golf. So same as hockey. So they kind of had the same format as the hockey, but it was interesting. And I know it's getting a little bit of bad press. Same with the hockey. I guess it's not worth it at the end of the day.
Right.
Mm-hmm. But I thought it was a fun rip. I didn't mind it. But
did the golf come with
can you get exquisite from it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I guess that's one from Goodwin's.
But are you asking about like the Future Watch autos? Like,
is that a thing for golf or an equivalent for that?
Yeah, it's I believe it's just like the rookie autos. I'm assuming. I did pull like a couple rookie autos. I actually got 3 autos. I got an extra auto, which was cool, nice. And I had a numbered to 100 and a numbered another to 999, which is the I guess the same rookie autos as the Tiger Woods. Mm-hmm. Right, so I thought it was a fun rip. It's but
how much
definitely
are the boxes
not
going for.
I want to say like 400 Canadian, maybe a little more.
Okay, so similar.
Maybe a little more. Wow. Yeah, similar. I'd say similar,
hockey.
But I would imagine there's better ROI. Yeah, there's better ROI on hockey. So there's like absolutely no possible. ROI. Yeah, because yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's definitely not worth it. But for like from a hobby perspective, where you're not really caring about, you just want the experience. I thought it was a pretty cool rip.
Yeah. I agree with everything you guys said. Like, if you look at the SP Authentic Future Watch auto cards, like the range is ridiculous, right? Like, if you don't get a stud, it's worth $2, like these Future Watch autos.
Yeah.
And and then the studs are like thousands. Like it's
And that's gonna probably come down too.
Yeah, exactly.
No, for sure.
And like
sure.
And some of these guys, you have to wait a while for them to develop and then to have a career for their prices to go up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Crosby and Ovechkin, like I don't know how many times I told you this story, right? About the Ovechkin Future Auto. Like, I could have got it for $600, but 5-6 years later, words and that, like you had to be patient with that set and the Future Watch autos too, even though the stud players. So, Kaprizov is 1,300, I think I saw on average, his Future Watch autos. And it could go either way, right? Like if he has a great career, great 5-6 seasons,
then
for sure. It's gonna go
100%,
up. But if he struggles, it's gonna go down. Like it's very volatile in that sense.
I mean, look at a guy like Draisaitl's Future Watch auto. Like what does he have to do to, create like, explosion prices? And you're talking almost the same as Draisaitl prices, right? Maybe not. Sorry, a lot cheaper, but like it shouldn't even be close.
He's got to change his name to Connor McDavid.
Yeah, he gets overshadowed for sure.
Yeah.
Even just looking at the names, man, like imagine spending $400 and you get a Future Watch and you get Chase Prisky on the Florida Panthers. Like, it's brutal. Who's that guy?
I've never heard of him.
I do like NHL drafts and I have like a draft league and I've never heard of that guy. Joel Kivarenta. Like, what? Where are these guys? Anyways.
Yeah, that checklist is a bit too big.
Yeah, it's pretty massive.
But I guess it's the equivalent of like Bowman Chrome, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're prospect chasing.
Pretty much.
For sure.
I was drawing the same comps, yeah.
Yeah.
But at least if you get a jumbo, you get multiple autos,
Yeah.
Honestly, if you got 2 with the chance of 3 Future Watch autos, that would be great. I think that's like a fun box to rip. But the fact that they make it maybe one with like a sort of like a veteran autograph or whatever other autograph comes in it, man, I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. I hope they change that up for next year when Caulfield and Zegras' class comes around.
It's gonna probably not help the resale market. Yeah, it's gonna be the same. People are gonna. I think people just line up. They literally line up. That's why prices are so expensive, because they're waiting
starving for this.
But then the problem is like these guys are waiting to buy the Future Watch autos off eBay. Waiting. So that drives the price, because they're like-minded. They're like, I'm not going to rip. I'm just going to wait in line on eBay. And then so is 1,000 other people.
The rest of the world,
all bidding.
Nobody's ripping.
Yeah, nobody's ripping. Exactly. So they're super rare. So people are going to like just drive that price up. Right? So
yeah.
Can't win.
All
right. Good segment, guys. All this talk, I'm getting the itch again to rip.
Let's do it.
Might just have to get that Stadium Club just for fun.
Yeah.
I might have to do that too.
All right, for our next segment, we did this last week, and because we had fun with it, we're bringing it back again. It's called Overrated, Underrated. In the last episode, I gave you guys a list of different types of cards, like the in-person rookie auto and the dual sticker auto card. And then I asked if you thought they were overrated or underrated. Okay, so today it's part 2 with a new list of different types of cards out there. And again, I'll ask you guys if you think it's overrated or underrated. Okay, so first, the quad color patch card. I talked about the quad patch card, and I know there was some confusion.
Yeah, this is what I thought you were talking about.
This is what you were thinking about, Hyung, right?
Yeah.
Last week I was thinking about like those 4 squares of different
those are terrible.
relics.
Yeah,
and we all faded it. But I think this is what you were talking about last week. One patch with 4 different colors. You can see 4 colors on it.
Yeah, that's a nice patch. So that's a nice patch, and I can't wait until Fanatics, steps in and do your thing, right? I'm gonna say underrated. 3 color patches are what people want, but 4 color, damn, that's next level.
Yeah.
Even if that like fourth color is just a sliver, is a thread.
It doesn't matter. 4 colors. I didn't even know teams had 4th colors, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I say underrated. I really like multicolor color patches.
Yeah.
So biased.
This is tough. I think there's a certain. It's kind of a mix of both. I think there are certain times where it is underrated, but I'm actually gonna mostly say overrated. And why I say that is I think when you get to more than 3, I feel like a lot of people try to sell the fact, like Clark, you said, that you see a little sliver of a 4th color, and it's like, look at quad color patch. Like they're just trying to sell the crap out of that card. But I think beyond maybe 2 or 3 colors, by that point, I want to see that the patch or the section of the patch looks nice. Like it's a really cool section of the patch, not just four lines. Like to me,
like a part of the name or like the
to
logo.
me, like 3 lines versus 4 lines is really not that big of a deal. And then people try to sell it as if it's such a huge deal. So for that reason, I'm going to say overrated. But if I saw some crazy, like if I'm not sure which product it is, but like either Topps Inception or one of the ones where they have like the jumbo patches. And I remember seeing one with like Bo Bichette's rookie year, and it was like 80 to 90% of the entire Blue Jay logo, like on the card.
Yeah.
Which like that's sick. So I think if you get a pretty awesome looking eye appeal section of a patch, that it kills. Even if it was like 3 colors, that kills quads. So I think in so many cases, people just try to oversell the fact that it's 4 colors. But if I'm only saying 4 different lines, it's really not that much more special than like a 3-line color patch. So,
yeah, I'm gonna say it's overrated too. For those reasons you mentioned, John. I joked in a past episode, like I think it's overrated, but if I have a patch card that has 4 colors, or I can see 4 colors, I'm putting that on the eBay headline. You know what I mean? I'm getting my money, So, but as a buyer, no, it just doesn't do it for me. Yeah. and I didn't think about it. What you said, Hyung, like there's not a lot of teams that would have 4 colors in their logo.
I'm trying to figure out what a 4 color patch is.
Right.
So yeah, that's a good question.
Do you guys ever find when you look at like say a quad color patch and say it's like a Blue Jays, and then you'll see like red, white, blue, green, and you're like, what the heck? Like where did green come? Like where is green on jersey? Sometimes I'll look at some cards and I'm like, where is the green on like the Tampa Rain Devils jersey? Like I don't understand where this color comes from.
That's true. I didn't think about that either. All right, so 2 overrated, 1 underrated. Okay, next one. Unlicensed sports cards. So think Panini Prizm Baseball, Panini Select Baseball. They don't have the team logos on their cards, but, you got the player.
I'm going to say underrated because I think there's going to be future value to them regardless. Like Mike Trout's Mike Trout, Look at his, past cards of unlicensed products. Right, they still sell, right? So I think over time, it's same goes with unlicensed right now. It's so cheap, cheap that it can only go up, and I think if it's a great way to invest, like I guess where you don't have to pay an arm and a leg, so it's a good move in the lower levels, I think. So I'm gonna say underrated.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I agree. Back in the day, I did try to chase a lot of unlicensed because that's what I could afford for certain players' rookie cards. I will say it's still at this point tough they're not as obviously liquid, so you will be taking, but long term, I could certainly see it being underrated. I mean, Panini Prizm, a lot of the graphics for certain years are becoming iconic, like the 2020 year and 2021. And then you have, like Tatis in that Prism gold. I think the cards look really nice. And Panini overall does a really good job with the imagery. They'll usually try to capture like the player either like turned on his back so that it's already an image that probably wouldn't capture any of the logos. So they do a pretty good job. I get kind of annoyed when sometimes they don't match the color properly. Like, the Jays helmets will be like a navy blue color or something like that. That kind of bothers me a bit. And sometimes the cards kind of look like they're photoshopped a bit too much. Like not just the logos were removed, like even the players' bodies and faces look a bit photoshopped. But overall, I think for sure, like, Goodwin, like the exquisite patch autos, like those are pretty sick. Like there's Joe Burrows out there, and there's like Darius Garlands and stuff like that. And this year there's like Jalen Green. I saw somebody in Canada coming out of BC. I think he posted on the Canada basketball group, but he hit the Jalen Green out of 5 exquisite patch auto, and it had the Jordan logo, man.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he listed on eBay. I don't know if it ended up selling, but when I saw the hit, I was like, whoa, that is sick. But I think overall I would say it's pretty underrated.
Okay. I think it's an underrated sweep. Like, I'm not a huge fan of unlicensed sports
real,
cards.
no one is.
Yeah, right.
It's like the minor leagues.
Yeah, that's true. The minor leagues, okay.
Yeah.
But it's so cheap, like you guys are saying, that I don't know if we could even say it's overrated, Like, and you said something, John. Like, I saw one card. I can't remember who the player is, but it was a nice looking photo, like where it's like a full swing, so you see his numbers, and you wouldn't like naturally see his logo on that swing, but it's just a nice shot, and like you wouldn't have known if it was licensed or unlicensed just based on the photo itself. So if you could target those cards of the players that you like, some of those autograph cards are so cheap that it's great for the PC, and it could be a good investment in the long term, like you guys said.
Right.
But yeah, underrated, although none of us will ever collect unlicensed sports cards. All right, number 3, non-numbered refractors.
Ooh, this one's good.
So there's, the usual silver ones these days that are non-numbered, but there's a lot of different refractors that are just not numbered, right? We have no idea what the print count is.
Overrated. I think, I'm not a fan of just non-numbered refractors in general. I don't collect any. I would only collect to flip, and the eventual goal would be numbered cards. Like that's in my opinion the true. Although like you do have like lower print runs that are non-numbered as well. So I respect that. There's some good parallels out there that are non-numbered. But in general, like the pinks, I do like regular refractors, but the print run's too high, right? So yeah, overrated.
Right. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna go the other way. I think I would have agreed with Hyung 12 months ago or more than that, but with the market really coming down pretty severely, refractors, like just the regular, like say Topps Chrome refractor, those prices are coming down huge. And I think there is some opportunity because the pop counts aren't necessarily crazy, right? Like what's a Luis Robert refractor pop count? Like 1,500, 2,000? Relative to the base, it's still a decent
$70.
It's still a decent number. Yeah, and it goes for ridiculously cheap, right? So I think the non-number refractors are starting to go into the territory of being underrated. I think they were, what Hyung said, overrated in the past just because of the high pop counts. There's a lot of them out there and the prices were pretty high. But now that prices are really starting to sink. And I think things like refractor, pink refractor, Topps Chrome Prizm. I'm just speaking to baseball right now. I'm not talking even the other side on Prizm, like basketball. Yeah. But I do feel like they're starting to get into the territory of being underrated. Because you can get some of those PSA 10s for pretty cheap for certain guys.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Just the only thing, I think it's overrated because I think like just a number of different refractors and parallels that are non-numbered, it just seems to be growing with every set. Like that's how, they're increasing these print runs and they're advertising, oh, you're going to get some kind of color hit and like it just doesn't
It's
mean
like
anything
green bubbles.
Yeah.
Green bubbles or something
exactly.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it is cheap, but I just don't see enough of an upside. That it'll rebound to a certain point where it's of good value. Maybe it'll go up a little bit depending on the player, but just because there's so many non-numbered refractors, and then on top of that, there are numbered refractors that people want more. People will chase for more. That I think non-numbered refractors will just stay. I think the market's corrected itself to the right point. That it'll just stay where it is now. So yeah, overrated for me. All right, the last type of card for this segment is the non-rookie patch autograph card.
Non-rookie patch auto. Non-rookie.
So think Topps Dynasty.
Right.
Flawless.
They have a lot of those.
Yeah.
Flawless. Yeah.
Underrated for sure. Like for me, I'm talking like I like eye appeal. I like cards that I personally like, right? So like I don't mind, non-rookie patch autos at all. I think there's like amazing value actually, right? Some go for so cheap just because, they're not rookie, like especially the second year, third year, but still beautiful card, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So collect what you love.
Yeah, in that space, I think they have huge potential, because if that player that you get for a pretty good value, let's say Trae Young, third year, I'm sure they go for pretty relatively cheap prices. If these players turn out to be into the Hall of Fame trajectory, I mean, look at what Steph Curry, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, ninth year flawless patch autos do, right? Look at what Giannis patch autos do, right? So when a player gets to that kind of stratosphere where they're either top 10 in the league, like cemented top 10 in the league, or they're into a Hall of Fame trajectory, that's when those flawless cards or Topps Dynasty start to really blossom. So, a bit of a gamble early on if you take it on as a couple of players, but I think it has huge potential for growth, for sure. Underrated.
Okay.
Right.
I don't know if we're watching different breaks, but I feel like they're slightly overrated. Like a lot of the hits that are patch autos of non-rookie cards, they just really pump it up. Like the breakers will say, "Oh, patch auto," yeah. And then it's like their third year, and then they'll try to sell it like for several $1,000s,
right.
and if you look at some of those prices from 3-4 years ago, they're kind of affordable. Like they haven't gone up, So I think when they just come out of a set, they look nice, but I think most often they're just overpriced, or you're not going to get a good deal right away. You just wait on them a couple years, and then you can collect what you love. Just don't get it right away.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I like patch autos, but I'm not a huge collector of non-rookie patch autos for that reason.
Fair.
All right, another fun round of overrated, underrated. I'll think of a different kind of topic to do for the next time we do overrated, underrated segment. But let's move on then to our final segment of this episode, our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. And this is the episode where each of us choose 2 cards or 2 sets, and then we debate which one we would rather invest in or which statement we agree with more. All right, so Hyung, do you want to start off?
Let's do it. I'm going with 2019 Bowman Chrome Julio Rodriguez Auto, a BGS 9.5 True Gem. I think True Gem Plus. Last sold for $1,350. Okay? And the high of this card has gone up to $1,700 in the past 3 months. Okay? Versus a 2019 Bowman Chrome Juan DeFranco BGS 9.5 Auto, True Gem Plus. Last sold for $1,020. And the peak of this card was $3,149 in the last 3 months. So the question is, J-Rod, who's having a phenomenal season, Rookie of the Year trajectory, right. All-Star 21-year-old, versus Wander Franco, who's injured right now, right? Mm-hmm. And what we talked about earlier on in the podcast, and I think at the beginning of the season, we were worried about this. if he doesn't produce the ridiculous numbers,
Right.
what's going to happen to his cards, right?
Right.
And sure enough, right? So are you buying in? I still believe in Wander as a player. He's 20 years old, remember. He's a year younger than Julio. But and he's still on, I mean, he has 2 seasons, I guess, with a decent amount of WAR, right? So
yeah.
So what are you guys going with?
Oh man. Yeah, you know what? I think if you asked me this question, it would have been pretty easy, like a handful of months ago, and not because of the Wander hype, but I just knew a lot more about Wander than J-Rod, and I know there's some big time J-Rod believers, and they are being validated because this kid is crushing it, man. He's hitting home runs, he's stealing bases, he looks like every bit the real deal. And we talked about somebody kind of being able to hit 30 bombs and sort of being in the mix of like home run races and stuff like that. I think that's going to really give J-Rod the higher end upside. On the flip side, Wander is Wander. I think we all know who he is and who he can be. I think I feel like he's going to kind of be the next sort of like Tony Gwynn type of player, where he's just one of these guys that are just impossible to strike out. He will put bat to barrel at every at bat, and he's just one of these types of players. But he just doesn't hit for power, so maybe he might not end up being sexy unless he's winning batting titles and whatnot. This is tough, man. I think the J-Rod hype is still high, but at the same time, it's definitely warranted. But I don't think Wander is falling off. I don't think he should fall off. I think he's just every bit as good as any one of the higher end players in the league. And his card seemingly is continuing to dip because he keeps kind of coming back and getting a small injury and coming back and getting a small injury. I think there's a great opportunity to kind of snap up on some Wander Francos. So while you have the opportunity, I'm going to say Wander Franco.
Wow. Okay.
It's just classic John move. I thought he was going to say J-Rod this whole time.
Yeah, big up J-Rod. Wander.
Yeah, like I play fantasy baseball, and good news, I got J-Rod on my team, killing it. He's going to be rookie of the year.
Great fantasy pick.
Yeah, he's going to be rookie of the year for sure, in my opinion. The bad news is I also have Wander Franco on my team. so I have both. So I've been following both pretty closely throughout the year. Yeah. And I like J-Rod prices, to tell you the truth. For what he's doing, $13.50 is not bad.
It's not bad.
You know?
Right. Yeah, fair.
I like it. But man, that $1,000
that's pretty
price
cheap.
point.
That's all-time low.
Yeah, I'm going for Wander because I love that price range. I play in that price range.
Wow.
Just like around 1,000.
I thought I would get Clark with that.
With J-Rod?
No, with Wander. I thought
with Wander. Okay.
It's too. Yeah. That's why I posted the high.
Right.
I know that would attract you, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. That's one main reason. But if you guys remember, like, he had a hot start to the season, and then the injuries got to him.
Yeah,
and he's 20 years old, like you said.
He's
like
20.
I'm not giving up on.
Remember, Vladdy had a terrible 20-year-old season,
right?
Yeah,
and 21-year-old season, right? So
yeah, and I think he could develop I think he could still develop into a little bit more power, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Like, he's maybe when he's 22, 23, right? So, and, like you said, like his batting average should stay pretty high. So yeah, at $1,000, man, I can't give that up. Wander Franco.
Interesting. I'm going to go J-Rod.
Okay.
This guy's the real deal, man. Yeah. I'm telling you, J-Rod is the real deal.
I love J-Rod.
Honestly, he brings so much fun to the game. He's another addition to the Soto, Tatis, Acuna, Vladdy, so I'm looking forward. This guy's a 40-40 guy. He's going to 30-30 in his rookie year as a 21-year-old, which is nuts. I mean, obviously he has to finish strong, but you got to remember he started the season so slow. This guy was batting below 200 for a long period of the beginning of the season, right? So it's going to be exciting to see that type of player. So for me, it's like I said, I like Wander. That worries me about card prices, what we talked about earlier, but I think J-Rod is the mix of everything. You have another Acuna out there, right? And I'm not going to say maybe better, but he's going to have to earn that stripe, but I think the potential's there. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing like that future. So for me, I'm a J-Rod believer, and I still think $13.50 is pretty cheap for that type of player, like you said, Clark.
Yeah. Damn, I think I might change my mind. Based on Hyung's analysis there.
I mean, it seems like both of these guys, like if J-Rod's card ends up kind of flirting towards 1,000 and Wander's card is kind of like 900 if it keeps going down, how could you not say they're both buys? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, 900. I don't think Wander's going to go below 1,000, to be honest.
Right. It's going to be a lot of support.
I can't see it. Yeah. But who knows?
Yeah. If you look at J-Rod's picture, he looks like he's 40. He looks like he's a veteran.
Yeah, he does.
But he's just 21. That's crazy. Yeah. All right, good one. Johnny, you're up.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to give hockey some love, of course. I got it being one of the hockey guys. We're going to go with notable free agent. Who's the better investment? Johnny Gaudreau or Evgeny Malkin? Both of these guys possibly. I think Malkin is a given. He probably is going to switch teams. Gaudreau, maybe not. But of the two, who are you going? I think, just for some context, Malkin Future Watch PSA 10. Not many of them out there. I don't think I've seen a couple on eBay in a while. But they would probably sell for sort of like the $750 USD range. And then Gaudreau, you're probably looking at $450 for a Future Watch auto. Right. For some context. Better investment.
I'll go first. Man. I think I will go for Malkin's body of work. Just what he's accomplished so far. And at $750, that's my price range. I'm telling you guys, anything around there.
That's a sweet spot, yeah.
For me, it is. And then, like he's already, like I said, has the numbers to get, it's a Hall of Famer, right?
Hall of Fame, for sure.
When his career is said and
100%.
done. So yeah, it doesn't even really matter where he plays next, to tell you the truth. So. And, I've never really been a Johnny Gaudreau guy. I know, I'll probably disrespect him way too much in terms of, what he's accomplished so far. But, I don't know. He's just played for the Calgary Flames his whole career, right? Maybe if he gets on a bigger market team, I might be more likely to invest in it. I don't know. It's just not that of an exciting player for me. Maybe I'm biased too because I grew up with watching Malkin more than I did with Gaudreau too. So that's probably a factor. But
I don't think you're biased. I agree. Like for me, it's like you're talking about a Hall of Famer, man. This guy's a beast. Malkin's a beast, and he has so much brass compared to, Gaudreau. Like he has to extend his resume, and for me, it's like you don't even know what the next few years are going to look like when, Malkin's a lock-in Hall of Famer, right? So for me, I think Malkin's still cheap. I think there's so much opportunity there, especially the type of player he is. So for me, it's Malkin as well.
Right. So I'm just reading that Gaudreau is going to take off. He turned down an 8-year, $80 million from Calgary.
Wow.
Yes.
He's worth that much?
But he turned it down, so he
scored 115 points this season, last season.
That's true.
I mean, I can't blame him. This is the fear that we have with Austin Matthews, is these American boys, man. I don't know if they, deep down, when it comes time to sign their second contract, I think these guys are going to want to go to big boy American teams. So, I mean, I don't even know if it's about the money. I could see him accepting 8-year, 80 or maybe a little bit less somewhere else. He probably just didn't want to be in Calgary, to be honest. No offense to Calgary fans, but I could see that happening with Toronto. not too long, which I'm kind of scared of. But anyways, back to the 1v1. I have mentioned Goodrow as a great buy low, and I still believe in that. I think both are great, but I'm going to be with you guys. I think if you're going to be spending money in the 4, 5, 6, 7, 800 range, in this, climate of what's happening in the sports car market, I think it's a lot safer to go with, especially if this is a short-term flip kind of thing. I think both going to work out. They're going to both go on probably some pretty big teams, and see a spike in action. So I think Malkin is a lot more tantalizing to me. He came back briefly last year, produced point per game. He is still as elite as he's been, even at his age. Don't sleep on that. And, if he goes to somewhere like Washington playing with Ovi, I think that'd be pretty crazy. So I think Malkin, future Hall of Famer, one of the best in the game right now. Well, not right now, but that we've seen in the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
For 700. Sure. If you could somehow find a deal, or an EB auction comes up and you can snipe it for 750. I'm not sure if that's possible at this point with him going in free agency, but I think that's a steal. We're going Malkin.
Yeah, sounds like a steal for sure. All right, Malkin sweep. Okay, let's end off this segment with my 1v1. So with the 2021-22 Panini Prizm Basketball Set out, I was looking at some of the rookie prices. Would you take Cade Cunningham, number 1 draft pick, for $300 to $400? It ranges right now for a silver Prizm rookie card. Or would you take our hometown fave, Scotty Barnes, rookie of the year? His silver Prizm rookie card goes about $100 less, so it ranges from $200 to $300, both raw.
Yeah, this one's tough because
you pick none?
No, I like Cade Cunningham actually, so I'm gonna say Cade Cunningham. I think he's gonna bring Detroit up. I think Bagley's gonna have a year too.
Ooh.
So I think
hot take.
You know what? That was gonna be my 1v or hot takes if we had one. But yeah, I think Cade Cunningham. I don't know. A lot of people are on Scotty Barnes, but for me, he worries me a bit, to be honest. And I do like the Toronto market. That's the only reason, because even my brother wants a Scotty Barnes. He's like, buy Scotty. I'm not buying Scotty Barnes right now.
It's too crazy.
It's the worst time to buy Scotty Barnes right now. So
yeah, that's why I said none, because it's too high prices to buy these at raw prices. But anyways, straight 1v1, Cade Cunningham, Scotty Barnes. We all love Scotty Barnes. I'm gonna pick Cade Cunningham too. I think Raptors fans probably be pissed at me for saying that, but I love Scotty Barnes because he's just that perfect type of player and piece you need for a championship team. I think he is every coach's dream. Any championship team would want Scotty Barnes, and so do the Raptors, and so do Raptor fans love him for that reason. But when we're talking hobby, we're talking high-end upside that is going to get noticed across the league. I think Cade Cunningham has the chance to be in the upper tier of elite players, whereas Scotty, I think, is going to be sort of like the elite version of Draymond Green sort of thing.
Oh boy.
No, in a good way. I mean that in a good way. You guys know what I'm saying, though, right? That kind of.
How dare you?
But I think Cade, he started off slow, so I think a lot of people kind of off him, especially if you played fantasy. You're like, oh man, I don't know if picking Cade number 1 was a good idea because he's sucking right now. But second half, he started to really show what he's made of, dropping buckets, assists, rebounds, steals, blocks, really producing across the board. He has that kind of game where he can be elite all around. So I think Cade Cunningham has a higher upside. So I'm going Cade Cunningham.
All right. Damn, I thought I could get you A with the Raptors pick, and then him. Do I have to remind you guys? He won Rookie of the Year. He's legit.
He is.
But and Cunningham starting slow, and the Detroit Pistons weren't that great, right?
Yeah.
So
they're terrible.
And the Raptors made it to the playoffs, so, and Barnes was an integral part of that. But that all being said, it's going to be a Cade Cunningham sweep because, looking into the future, you look at the Raptors. Like, I love how the Raptors play. They play like a team. No one really takes the spotlight right now, until KD comes, right? But but right now, they distribute the ball well, and that's perfect for a guy like Scotty Barnes. Like he gets his minutes, and he's utilizing it really well. But in this kind of NBA where the superstars shine, Cade Cunningham definitely still has that potential to even take that next step up as the guy. They just drafted Jaden Ivey, so it's going to be a hot young duo in the Detroit's going to be they should be a fun team to watch, and those two young guys are going to be a big part of that spotlight. So bigger part of the spotlight, better for the hobby, for Cade Cunningham collectors. So I think the potential for Cunningham cards is, even if it's even just $100 more than Scotty Barnes, it's there's more potential in his upside. Right. So yeah, Cunningham sweep. Sorry, Will. We all agreed once again. All right, that's it for this episode. As usual, we thank all of our listeners and followers and subscribers to our podcast. We come out every Tuesday and every other Friday. If you haven't given us 5 stars and you enjoyed this episode, we would appreciate that a lot. And we'll see you soon for our next new episode next week. Thanks. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU at Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.